So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you.
I want people to know that Rickey Brewer is a Christian and he loves his wife. I know it was a mental health situation. We were trying to get help. There is no hate towards her. I mean, I'm definitely hurt by what she did. But I still have to move forward. She was forgiven already. I want people to love people like Christ loved the church and forgive them, have an open heart and compassion. I could talk to her. I want her to know that I still love her. I would like for her to know that, I would like for her to get the help that she needs.
So for this instance, dealing with this video, and after everybody basically hearing what it is that I was able to hear, I'm just gonna say that my jaw hit the floor. Um, and I, I'm just, I don't even know. Wow. Um, like I said, that was for me. That was a lot. Knowing the fact now that she is married, my question now is, and this is going back to the previous video where I said keep the focus on the woman that committed this act. The main thing when I find out, or when I know that two parents were a part of the situation, and that a parent in a sense knew that there was a problem and a sign and a symptom, this is the main thing that I tell you guys before, that things don't just happen, that there are signs and symptoms. He clearly stated in the video that he knew that she needed help, that she was struggling, but for whatever reason, she was never admitted. She was never given that help or forced to get that help. And because none of that intervention took place, you have the loss of lives by way of their kids. And normally in this instance, I would sit up there and tell people like, yo, throw them all away. Put them both in prison. Put them both in prison. Um, but as I'm looking at him shaking, I'm not sure if there might be a medical condition or whatever it is. He has to live with those consequences. That child that's sitting there next to him, his daughter, she knows everything, that pretty much goes on in that house, in that relationship. She also has to bear, the burden that is not even her burden to even have to deal with for the rest of her life, knowing the fact that she witnessed, that she was in the same house where this took place, and she's old enough to have these memories. It wasn't like she was 3, it wasn't like she was 4. That little girl was probably about like 8 plus, maybe. And that's going to be something that she's going to remember for the rest of her life. That's something that's going to forever cause a fracture, and that's something that that father has to sit up there and deal with the fact that you allowed this to take place. As a father, you are supposed to be the number one protection from any and every single source that could potentially mean or cause your child any type of harm, and you failed. You 100% failed. And this is the exact same thing that I've stated before when it comes to mothers who fail to protect their kids, knowing the fact that their boyfriends are the types of individuals that mean harm, that mean to do something physical to children. Like I said, just like the woman who sat up there and got a lot of time for knowingly allowing, right, her boyfriend and or her husband to go after and to abuse the children in a very same household, the same exact thing should happen here. The same exact thing should happen here. There needs to be some families from somewhere within that family to basically adopt and take care of those kids. Both of those parents need to be in jail. Both of those parents need to be in jail. You're not going to sit up here and try to tell me that the whole world needs to sit up there and forgive her because you forgave. What does that mean? And then you're going to sit up there and bring up the Bible. And this is what I be talking about with black people in the Bible. It's that brainwashing right there. Right there. Look, let me let you know something. If at a time that a wife of mine decided that she wanted to take the lives of our kids, I would be the main one sitting up there asking for the death penalty. And I would be right there front row and center. I don't play games when it comes to kids. I do not. Because as an adult, you've made your decision in life. Kids still have infinite decisions that they can sit up there and do. Some of ones we've never even seen before. They still have options. Your options have run out. You have no right at all to sit up there and take the life of a child just because of something mental going on. That's not a valid excuse. And I've heard people online sitting up here saying, what about the mother? She needed this, she needed that, and all these other types of things. Well, like I said before, the men that sat up there and enabled her to basically procreate, to give birth to these kids, throw all of them in jail. If it was just one, if he's the only guy and all of those are his kids, throw him in jail. Throw him in jail. Like I said, there's no excuse. There's not a valid reason or an excuse for any of this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're not going to give me no postpartum depression. You're not going to give me any of that. Because all those things, like I said before, are thoughts in your mind. Yeah, okay, cool. Chemical imbalances. Okay, great. But you still had to ponder the thought. You still had to play with that thought back and forth. Everybody has thoughts of doing some of the most egregious and irrational things. But guess what? Everybody's not acting on those thoughts. But then when you have people that act on those thoughts, everybody gets to sit up there and cop out. Oh, the devil made me do it. I have a chemical imbalance. I suffer through this. I suffer through that. So you mean to sit up there and tell me that we're going to allow those things to enable and justify the reasons that another person is able to take another? Nah, son, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that to these kids. We ain't doing that to these kids. Like I said before, the father wasn't even crying. The little girl was doing all the crying because she knows, she saw it. Because she was more than likely the next one that was going to get harmed. And she has to sit there and cry, knowing the fact that she couldn't save any of her brothers or her sisters. She couldn't do anything. She was powerless to stop all of that from happening. There was nothing that she was able to do. She was more than likely stricken by fear. And she was more than likely confused by every single thing. So now what we have here is this, right? So we have the mother that is quote unquote broken. She has mental health issues, right? Because of past traumas and all of these things, right? This is how the circle continues. So now because the mother is broken, right, and enabled by the main person that's supposed to be the man in the house, that's supposed to be able to guard her, that's supposed to be able to protect those kids, and his wife, right? He allowed these things to happen just like the wife allowed these things to happen. So now all of that trauma that the mother suffered is now put onto that daughter. So now it's only a matter of time, right, to basically see if the daughter is going to end up becoming just like the mother. All because the adults in the situation allow the situation to get this far. Like I said before, by the father's own admission, she was going through mental problems. She needed help. It was asked if he could say one thing or hope one thing, that she knows that he still loves her and that he forgives her, and that he hopes that she gets the help that she deserves. And also pay very close attention to how nobody even asked, nor was the question even presented on how was the house set on fire. Pay attention. When they showed the house, you didn't see the house basically burning from the outside. That was coming internally. But like I said, this is what happens when you allow and you enable a lot of things. I'm not even worried about the adults in the situation. Like I said, they need to just get thrown in prison. They need to just get thrown in prison. The main ones that have to suffer the most silently because they don't have anybody to speak for them are those children. And they have to live with that trauma. They have to live with that hurt. They have to live with that pain. They have to live with that knowing of that type of fear that the main person who gave them life was trying to take that from them. And the main person that was supposed to be able to protect them from the world itself didn't protect them from anything. That within itself is the most hurtful thing to have to basically live with. And these children will never ever get over anything. And they will never ever forget any of the images or anything that they were able to witness physically or emotionally that day.